I did not see wolnez. Oh, one of the major issues, though, is having to turn stuff into law enforcement to agencies that have already screwed up so incredibly badly. On the bright side, there are a few people who have at least tried looking at evidence, and it's a good start. Because when you're dealing with a lot of abuse because people want to slander your name, it is nice having the evidence that it's slander. Sounds like somebody's yelling out there. I have to be afraid to call 911 for fear of being blown off. One of the things that sucks the most is when I'm being abused and I'm trying to explain to people about the abuse and they just want to talk over me. And literally, the only thing that I can do to be heard is to curse. Call them up and scream and shout and hoot and holler. That's why it's important when you're a disabled homeless person, especially a male out here, to have somebody call it in with you. Police like to gaslight homeless people. A lot of times, when you think that you're calling in for somebody to help a homeless person, help them with housing, that's not the help that they get. When you see a homeless person being assaulted and you call it in and the police show up, yeah, that's still generally not the help that they get. Even though women are 30 times more likely to be the physical aggressor in a relationship, males are a lot more likely to be arrested. And just as people in houses are more likely to be the aggressors against the homeless are more likely to be the ones arrested and incarcerated. It sucks being assaulted. It also sucks when police tell people that you brought it on yourself. How do you bring it on yourself? By speaking up about it? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? What we're taught to do and trained to do? Oh my god. My back is fucking killing me. Hopefully in the next few days we'll be able to get some of this stuff turned in, but folks need to stop and listen to understand the situation, and that's difficult to do when they've got this miracle fix-all idea that they want to try first, and it'll happen in 6 to 8 weeks maybe, depending on everything goes screwed up all the time or just most of the time. I believe the term is bohica. Bend over, here it comes again. Oh. If people look into the history of people like Waylon Lolotai, and you look up the history of the situation with Natalie Bollinger, and the history of Clearview Behavioral Health of Johnstown, Colorado. Man, you guys, the places that I've been ain't been good places. The police I've had to deal with ain't been good police. For a lot of you who are able to go to the police because you have something, you have someone, you have material goods sufficient enough for an officer to go, oh, well, this person might have enough to sue me. You also get to see how you bitch about the bodily functions of human beings. That's right, humans are gonna poop. When everything that they're able to purchase comes in a package, they're gonna create garbage too. When they're not allowed to burn that garbage, and throwing that garbage away in a lot of places will result in a pretty hefty fine. It's not easy. So how do we protect ourselves from bad law enforcement? Well, for starters, you have to be vigilant. You also have to turn it in right away. A lot of people are too busy on the quick fix, easy fix thing, when in reality there's a lot of things they need to know before we talk to folks, not after. So tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'm supposed to get a phone call, and hopefully we'll be able to make it a 3-way phone call. If I can remember how to do that. I'm in constant pain because of the conditions that I have to live in. And I have to live in these conditions because police officers didn't want to do their jobs. Without a friend or family member who cares, the police aren't going to do their jobs. And when they've screwed up as badly as they have here, it gets real scary. And a lot of people, they want to call a place and then they wait to be called back. No, those places are not going to call you back. That's the reason that you call in with the victim and you try to turn stuff in person together. Preferably with as large a group as possible. What the Bollingers were allowed to do to me, it was because of popular support. And they had popular support because of slander. That resulted in a lot of people gaslighting me and me being forced to do very desperate things to try to get help stopping the abuse. People don't take the situation as seriously as it needs to be taken. I choose not to get violent, while people get violent with me over and over and over again. And while it's not illegal to record, it is illegal to assault people. But that only matters if someone cares, because if you're a disabled homeless man, you do have to be afraid of the police without a friend or family member present. And the thing about a friend or family member, these are people that should care about you enough to find out what's going on. When you're in a state of crisis over abuse, they should at least try to find out what kind of abuse you're going through. instead of trying to fix everything with a 5-minute quick fix. In real life, there ain't no quick fixes like that, especially not to complicated issues. You want to oversimplify it, or you want to try to talk me into doing things that I've already done and gotten nowhere. You're literally making me go back to my predators by name to turn them into themselves at that point. That's not common sense. When you are aware that I can't do these things for myself, but somehow it goes in, bounces around a little bit in there, and somehow what pops out the other side is not what's said. Definitely not what was said. That's why it's important to record these things and to send it to people, because they get stuck on things. Just one little part, and it's like a 30-minute thing for them wanting to say it over and over again. Yes, I heard you the first time. Yes, you are right, and I'll tell you that you're right because you're right. Yes, I'm well aware that that's what needs to be done. Yes, I'm well aware that I can put that stuff on a USB drive if I have the ability to do it, which I don't, and that's the problem. They're aware that I don't have the ability to do so. They're aware that that's the help that I'm asking for. Yes, that is perfect, absolutely, but we need to not get stuck on that. The other thing is, if you just volunteer to do stuff every time that I tell you a problem, there's a lot of problems. And the amount of time that it takes you to get done what you already volunteered for, we're already 6 weeks past when it should have been, of course, turned in. I didn't go out of my way looking for trouble with wolnez. Just as I didn't go out of my way looking for trouble with the police or with Molly. But there's a lot of skeezers out there. And you know what? Skeezers take advantage of whoever it's easiest to take advantage of. It's not okay to turn away from this kind of abuse. Police refusing to investigate abuse against homeless men. Well, many of them take part in abuse against homeless men, so what are we supposed to do? When people say they're going to help us, they're so busy trying to quick fix everything that they don't get the bigger picture. It's not just one thing that affects it. It's a whole bunch of shit that's wrong, and it's acknowledging how much of it is going on that's going to fix it. See, the problem is that when there's abuse, I have to wait for someone to set up an appointment, and in between now and when they maybe set up the appointment and actually make it, I'm abused even more, and I need to turn in all of those crimes because that's the point here. It's still happening. It is ongoing abuse. It is ongoing financial abuse. It's ongoing physical abuse. It's ongoing harassment. And then when people target me and do stupid shit and then realize they were recorded doing it, they want to throw tantrums. Oh, poor me, I was recorded. Yeah, poor you. Poor you, right? You victimized me, and poor you, you were recorded doing it. And don't give me that two wrongs don't make a right bullshit. Alright, that's a pretty fucking meme on Facebook at this point. It's just an excuse to do nothing, to look the other way. Now, how do I stop the abuse? I can't physically defend myself for shit. I don't have the physical ability to do so. I don't have the electronic knowledge to work with most of the shit that I had to buy in order to try to get help. I mean, this stuff is really, really expensive. God damn, my back is fucking killing me. Alright. Hopefully I can make it through the night without getting harassed, without stuff getting thrown at my vehicle, without getting screamed at. It seems to me all the stuff against my, well, where my passenger window used to be, helps to drown out the sound quite a bit. I also noticed that my phone, by the time you can hear it in my phone, I've already heard him yelling a couple of times. It's usually about the time I open my door that you can hear what the dude's screaming at me, so I just ain't been opening my door. Basically just opening my door to prove that it's happening. Of course, when I say that sounds like wolnez, I open the door and sure enough, it's wolnez. Now, one lady today, she said, you know, you should take that screenshot of the guy who actually killed Natalie Bollinger and you should post that on Lopez's YouTube. Make him look stupid. Because it'd be funny. And, you know, I agree. There are people who would think it was funny. But it's not something that I want to do. I wanted to deal with this professionally and as adults. And you know, going up to somebody when they're going to change in their cans so they got a little bit of money to fucking live on. Going up to them and starting shit for no fucking reason because you heard a goddamn rumor. And that's stupid. That's why we got so many people incarcerated for being violent. They heard a rumor and did something stupid. Well, unfortunately, doing that shit gets innocent people killed. And that includes Natalie Bollinger. No, she is not completely innocent. She committed wrongs and sins in her lifetime, same as we all have. I'm rolling me up another cigarette here. I'm going to continue having anxiety until I know that there's a resolution to these issues. Some of these issues there will never be a resolution to. You can't bring Natalie Bollinger back. Y'all are going to have to live with that one. You cannot bring Natalie Bollinger back. All of these people wanted to be possessive of her. I just wanted her to call off the dogs. The people who had been her predators through her entire life. The people that she needed protection from, her own family. She wanted to be loved by her family the same as I wanted to be loved by mine. But I gave up hope on that a long time ago. I was good to people, though, and a lot of people knew how fucked up my parents were. And they helped me out a little bit, by comparison. But not having a good start, there's a lot of people who, when their kids graduated high school, they had a vehicle. The vehicle was paid off. They had about $5,000 worth of money from people who donated their graduation fund. They'd been able to spend their summer jobs, if they had them, to buy the things that they wanted and or needed to get a start in life. Most of them, it was just paying for their first car and their gas for it, though. Many of them had co-signers for their first apartments, for their first vehicle. Well, people get very aggressive with me. I get passive aggressive. Between fighting with you and speaking up about it on the internet, speaking up about it on the internet is nonviolent. We teach boys and girls differently. If you tell on a girl, she'll call it attacking her. Why are you attacking me? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm in Oregon. You're in Tennessee. Ain't nobody attacking you. Now, your character, that's a different story. Of course, some of these people are in Tennessee. Some of the people that threatened me are right here in Oregon. Some of them are in Nebraska, Colorado. A lot of people in Colorado assaulted me. And I continue to speak up about it because it is an injustice. The police did everything that they could to prevent me from having an honest day in court against them and against the Bollingers. I don't make you guys do the horrible things that you choose to do, and they are decisions. I've decided to do some pretty desperate shit in my day. Yes, I said decided. Now, I didn't exactly have the best of options, did I? So when I say decided, it's not like it's, I chose the worst out of hundreds and hundreds of much better options. No, I chose the best of the shitty options that I had. Between trying to turn in the predators and ending my own existence, I tried to turn in the predators, and instead of listening to me, I was treated as if I was trying to end my own existence. Well, Jesus fucking Christ, what kind of a country are we living in? Where you victimize the victims for being honest. You say tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But chances are, if you're telling the truth, you're the only one in the courtroom doing so. What are we supposed to say to that? God bless America? You're fucking insane. I've been trying to get these folks to stop instead of doing all this stuff last minute or after it's already too late, to actually take the time to listen before it's too late. And they never do. They always want to talk over me and set it up for a week after it's too fucking late. Like, hey, could we stop and actually find out everything that's going on and fucking prioritize it? Instead of, you want a fucking quick fix, the first fucking problem that I tell you about. We cannot stop to do that, especially when it takes you weeks or even months to follow through with that one fucking thing. And yes, I should be allowed to get frustrated. I should be, because people don't take it seriously. You can take the time to call now and listen so you know what's going on. Not make it a conversation or you pushing a suggestion over and over and over again. Yes, I heard the suggestion. Yes, I think it's a great idea. Now we need to move on so that you know what's going on instead of just getting stuck on that one thing. I am overwhelmed with people getting stuck on that one thing that they might do in 2 or 3 weeks when it's too late. If they would take the time to stop and listen, which they could actually do over the phone, but they have to actually spend the time to listen. Instead of spending the time to talk over me about this one little thing. No, we need to be able to move on so that you are aware of what is going on. That's the reason why I've sat with people and literally offered to pay them money to sit down with me and fucking listen. Not make suggestions. Just listen to understand. And most people are entirely incapable. Most people are entirely incapable of hearing another human being's story. I try to get people to look at evidence so they'll stop talking over me and actually start to register what's going on. Like when I have to repeat to somebody over 100 times, I live in a fucking trash heap. No, I cannot do this from my vehicle. No, I cannot transfer it from my computer to whatever USB drive you have, or transfer it from a USB drive to my computer unless I have help with my computer. If you can carry my computer into the library for me, that'd be great. If you can carry it back out at the end of the day, that would be great. But can you do that for me every day? Are you recognizing that I need help with that every day if I'm going to work on it every day? And none of these people are going to work on it every day. They don't know what the fuck is going on, so when they're making decisions based on not knowing what the fuck is going on. And that's based on not listening and not looking at evidence. Now, thank goodness there are people who have started to look at evidence. But getting them to listen is still an impossibility. Without them listening, they don't understand the importance of that evidence. When they're too busy giving, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. Have you tried this? Have you tried that? Will you please stop? If I have to literally start over from ground zero with every single person and try to fill them in on 7 years worth of abuse and try to make all the time in the fucking world to be able to do that, but I have to, of course, work with people who are not making the time to work with me even when they say they will. When they finally do come through, it's always in the wrong direction. It's always pushing in the wrong direction. Why don't you just move? Why don't you just move? Why don't you just move? Well, I'm explaining to these people why I can't just move. But they're too busy with a quick fix to interrupt everything that I say with. And that isn't help because you're not listening to understand. It is overwhelming. It's disheartening. It's dehumanizing. And it's the reason that people kill themselves, especially males. Anyway, I'm going to end this video. It's probably pretty close to 11. Yep, 10:52. Maybe I'll be able to get some sleep. Maybe I won't. That's the thing about still not having someone who does the listening part. Instead of listening to quick fix it, listen to follow through. Follow through with listening with your ears. Don't get stuck on your subject when I'm the victim that needs help. My story is more important than your questions. And in most situations, people are talking to me like I'm retarded. I'm busy explaining the situation. All of the questions that they're asking, they don't have to ask. But they want to. They want to make sure they ask. That way, they get to feel like they're controlling it somehow. And no, that doesn't help the victim. Talking about yourself doesn't help the victim. Stopping them to explain over and over and over again that you don't have much time, so you need them to wrap it up, that you need them to hurry it up. No, that's the fucking meanest thing that you can do to a person. You're letting them know at that point that you don't care who hurts them. You just want them to hurry up. You're getting bored with it. Well, being physically assaulted, I can tell you it's not boring. It's bullshit. And when you have to deal with it because people aren't stopping to understand until they recognize how the term mentally ill is used as an excuse to harm me and actually speak up about how fucking wrong this is, I have to continue taking the abuse. I have to wait for people to take the time to listen, but they're not going to do that. With a lot of these people, we're tied up and they only have time to go to like court dates and stuff. Well, no, there's preparation that has to be done ahead of time. And that's what I've been trying to explain to you. All the things that you're requiring me to do are exactly the things I've been asking your help with. Does it not register in your head that I don't have the goddamn resources you do? When all you have to do is go home and plug your phone in. Easy. You can plug your phone in anytime you're at home. But when you don't have a fucking home, you have to travel to find a fucking outlet. When you've got a home of your own, you can get some fucking peace and quiet. When you have to live with a fucking alcoholic, who won't get a job and doesn't get disability, you know what it turns into? You spending all your disability money on their fucking bills while they get drunk and play fucking video games. I'm trying to get somebody to give a shit. Now, when it makes a fucking difference. Instead of 6 goddamn years away. When you say, oh, I don't live in town. Or I live in a different state. That doesn't matter. We can make the fucking phone calls together. The thing is, we need to make the phone calls together to even find out who we call. That's what we need to do. We need to make a bunch of fucking phone calls together. Together. That doesn't mean that you make a couple of phone calls and wait 6 months for a call back that's never going to happen. And I do the same goddamn thing. No, it means we do it together. God damn it.